match. Oh, he caught it! Oh, unbelievable! Back near the wall. It's out of here. Step back.
All right,
I would
welcome
be.
back to another episode of The Sportsmen. We are excited. We finally, for the first time in a long time, have all three gentlemen back together. Myself, Mikey Bear Down Cuz, Joey Aloha Cold Cuts. Joe, how's it going?
Aloha
Hey,
Joe.
you're on your honeymoon. Tell us about it.
Great time out here, Four Seasons Maui, enjoying myself. This is what it's all about, man. This is special stuff that we're getting to enjoy here, but nothing too special that I couldn't partake in an episode of The Sportsman with the three of us, which we've been very busy. We've been a lot of running around. So, when we said we could get an episode filmed today, I said absolutely. Quite frankly, Ticket and I got absolutely dismantled in the comments last week, and for understandable reasons. We were talking about everything aside from sports, and it was a hiatus. A lot of stuff goes into planning a wedding, and now we're back.
This is the worst time of the year for sports, right? I mean, it's not the worst time because now football season starts this weekend, so it's really not the worst time. But I mean, like the previous couple weeks were like, it's just terrible. It's garbage. It's dog shit. It's terrible. But
I can only watch so much baseball, man. I can only watch so much baseball and partake until football now is so close. It's like you said, Mikey, you can taste it. The football season between college football and then right after NFL.
That's right.
I mean, we're almost at the funnest time of the year.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
but
We're right
the thing
there.
is, too, is like, Joe, you and I were talking about nothing that you wouldn't talk about on the Brilliant Dumb Show. It was just because I guess we call ourselves the Sportsmen that
True.
people are like,
there's expectations as
what the fuck are
sportsmen.
you guys
There's
talking about?
a certain expectation level for being a sportsman and believing in sportsmen, and we're here to deliver, and that's what we'll do.
That being said, I took a flight to Joe's wedding this week with Mikey. Mikey was on my flight.
That's right.
And this man, I hate to bring it up because he does not like it to be brought up, but everyone around the airport saw this man and said, I hope I'm not sitting next to this guy.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep. Well,
Great to see that, man.
That's why I really try to fly first class as much as I can. So I really, don't have to deal with, being ostracized and treated like a leper, basically. That's one of the main reasons I do it. That, and I usually get financial reimbursement, but that's another story for another time. But nobody wants to be made to feel like a leper, Tick, and you saw it firsthand. So now I'm glad you could get a little appreciation for that. Good.
Tick, was it as bad as he said? Because it looked bad.
There was a guy walking up. So when you get in the jetway, after you scan your ticket and then you start walking towards the plane and you're on the jetway, this guy behind Mikey, behind me, he goes, boy, I hope I'm not sitting next to you. And he looks right at Mikey and goes, yeah.
That's a tough
I didn't even look at the guy. I just kept walking.
But I treated you like you're Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, it's wild.
You're like, when people see you in an airport, that's the first thing they see is like, God, I hope I'm not sitting next to that guy.
Just wild, man. Just like, it's like, and you know what? That guy actually, and I think we talked about this briefly on the Brilliant Dumb Show, so I'm not going to harp on, but I believe that guy was actually ended up sitting in front of me. And he was actually all right because he looked back at me and he asked for permission to recline, which I think is a very classy move. Asking permission to recline is a classy move. I don't recline really much at all in coach. I go like a tiny little bit so I don't ask permission because I literally go like just a tiny bit I recline.
Right.
I won't go full recline. I just feel bad about it,
I don't recline.
Give you more space.
I do need more space.
You ever see these guys who, like, the second you take off,
the
second the wheels take off, and they just push their seat back, and it's like, do you feel good about that,
dude? I got to tell you, there's a couple bugaboos.
I do recline.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, but like I know a ticket saying like the instant that the plane goes up, the guy is in
Yeah.
full blown. That's one thing. And then there's another group of people on planes, and this was really a more brilliantly dumb centric conversation. But I got to get this one off my chest because these fuckers are annoying as shit. The people that as people are still boarding the plane, and these people are in coach, mind you, and I was in coach, and I've flown coach my whole life up until my last year of my life. These people in coach that as people are still boarding the plane, knocking into their knees, going in the overhead bins, the people that have their eyes closed already while people are still boarding the fucking plane, like they're dead asleep and like don't want to be disturbed already. Give me a fucking break, dude. You're not sleeping yet. There's no physical way, unless you took a fucking horse tranquilizer, that you could just sit right in one of those shitty airplane seats and just be zonked out like that. I don't care what Ambien you're on, what edibles you're on. There's nothing you could have done to just sit down in one of those chairs. Now, when the plane's in the air and we're going a little bit, I could understand. But dude,
Sure.
don't fucking tell me that you're sleeping. They got their eyes closed. To me, that's very aggravating because it's kind of like sending a message like, "Don't disturb me. I'm real good where I'm at." Meanwhile, everyone else is fucking miserable. It's survival of the fittest. It's like Lord of the Flies trying to see who could get the best overhead storage compartment. It's disgusting. The airplanes and airlines are just, it's a disgusting,
Well, part of the
disgusting
problem
thing. It's a
is
shame that you
they've
have to
never
fly to go places. It's a
they've
shame.
never changed the overhead compartment space since like the 90s. Like I don't understand. Like now everybody carries these big, huge luggages, like that are quote unquote carry-ons. And I was on a plane the other day. I could barely fit my backpack up there. It was crazy.
It's a joke, bro. It's a
Oh,
joke. It's a joke.
yeah. Well, Joe, we got married on Saturday, I believe, and now you're in Hawaii. How's it been so far?
It's been great. It's been really good. Really just kind of settle in. I've been watching a lot of fantasy football coverage on ESPN.
Wow.
They did a live draft. I was watching in the cabana, the pool today. It was wonderful.
Young man's
Nicole
doing
was
his
tanning.
homework, Tick.
All right.
Well,
Young
do you
man's
see the
doing his
new
homework.
the new law imposed by none other than the new commissioner himself, Dickie Gas, is last place now has to pay for the third place,
This guy,
the
man,
entry fee. That's
this guy's gonna turn this league upside
Well,
down. I'm
that
telling you.
okay. So
I
okay.
mean, Tick, you did this, Tick, so you can't complain.
Yeah,
You
Tick, you
said
did.
this
Tick,
is on
you
your
did.
head.
Tick,
This is
you
on your
did.
head. It's on
You
your head. It's like
know
saying
what?
I want
I
to run
can't.
for president, and then 1 year into your term, you say I can't handle this anymore. So you hand the keys over to somebody who's now going to take
Tell you what,
take
that's
the
exactly
fucking
right. That's exactly right.
That is exactly right. That is it.
It's a tough
However,
look there, Tick. Tough look.
I did 2 terms. I did 2 years of this fucking league.
Yeah, you did
I
do
did
2 terms. That's
years.
right.
I didn't
That's
do
right.
1 year. I did
Well,
2
one
years.
term is technically 4 years.
Also,
So.
this league wouldn't
Joe, that's
exist.
also right.
This league wouldn't exist without me. By the way,
Wow.
it was my
Whoa,
idea.
whoa.
I said,
The
"How about a
Tick.
Brilliantly Dumb Show league?" And then someone invited Dickie Gas, and then he's been here for the last 2 years, and I love him. He's funny. He's very attentive. And you know what I really appreciate about Dickie Gas is that he gives a fuck. Because there's a lot
Oh,
of
he
people,
does. Yeah, he does. He does.
He does.
there are a lot of people when you get into a fantasy football thing and they just stop paying attention to their team 2 weeks in,
That's right.
they're losing,
Yeah.
and it sucks, and everybody gets an automatic win. He does give a fuck, and I love that about him. But anyway, I got too busy. I had too much on my fucking plate, and the last thing I can possibly imagine is Dickie Gas questioning me about are we doing free agents this week or what? I can't deal with that, man.
Waiver
I-
wire acquisitions at
Yeah,
midnight on
so
a
I put the
Sunday.
hand up. I said, you know what? I can't. I'd love for the league to keep going, but I
Can't hack it.
can't do it anymore. And I was hoping that Teddy Squirtle
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
his hand up, but
That would have been nice. Instead, we handed the league over to Joker himself.
Yeah.
Went from
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne to
exactly right.
Joker. I will
Yeah.
say this.
Exactly right.
I'd say he's more along the lines of like Stalin. He's like one of the like a historic
He is a
dictator.
Stalin. Yes.
I will say
Yeah.
this. So far, what I've seen from him, I'm quite pleased. He's taken last year when we tried to get a draft set in place, it was a disaster. And I think part of the problem is Tick is too nice sometimes. I think sometimes you need somebody who don't give a fuck,
Oh, don't
be
you
a little
dare.
hard pressed. We got a draft
Oh,
date set
don't
up
you
Yeah,
dare.
so
within a
a
day.
couple things for the listeners out there that are also Bob Does Sports Brilliantly Dumb people. This Thursday. So
Yeah.
this is Mr. Anderson dropping this tomorrow, Tick? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yep.
tomorrow, you're listening to this now. Tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, live Brilliantly Dumb Show YouTube page will be a live stream of the Brilliantly Dumb Show fantasy football draft.
Yeah, it's gonna be
You
tremendous.
get that extra piece of content. And if you can't watch it live, it'll stay on the page. Am I right, Tech?
I believe so.
So
Yeah.
it's the 22nd, isn't it right?
It's on
Yeah,
Thursday.
This Thursday.
Okay.
But this drops tomorrow.
But I'm
so
saying, Tick.
Yep.
So yeah, this drops tomorrow. So people
Yep.
listening right now, it's tomorrow for them.
All right. Yep.
And it'll just stay on the page, right, Tick? Like if you can't watch it live, it'll just stay on.
Yep.
Okay.
YouTube forever.
That
So who won last? So Tick, you won last year.
No, he won. He beat me in the championship 2 years
First,
ago.
and so who
I
won
the
last year
first
again?
Last year, who won?
Yardbird, didn't he?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yardbird did.
Yardley won last year.
Good for him. Yeah, Yardbird.
He had a
was
good team.
great.
He had a good
Talk
team.
about another guy who cares immensely.
No, listen, he's a guy that you got to watch draft. He knows his stuff. I've noticed that the first year we drafted, I was like, all right, he knows what he's doing.
Oh, he knows what he's doing. But that being said,
I mean, he does, Tick.
guy
He
like-
does.
when you draft a guy like Justin Jefferson, you expect him to be your rock.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You can't. Fantasy's
You
fickle.
lose
You
him
can't
for-
predict. You can't predict injuries. It's tough.
I'll tell you what. I was watching the ESPN fantasy football draft this morning.
And Jefferson
Justin-
didn't go early. Yeah,
He
I know.
was not even in the
I know.
first three
I know.
receivers taken. It was the first
Let-
one.
CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek
CeeDee
Hill.
Lamb, Tyreek Hill,
Yeah, yeah.
and then Amon-Ra St. Brown even went before. him.
Really? Before?
Yeah.
People
And then
are
it was-
so
then it was-
high on Amon-Ra St.
And then it
Brown,
was
dude.
Justin Jefferson, and then it was Jamar Chase. It was like, oh my God, it was.
Listen,
My thing with Amon St. Raw is not that he is one of the greatest receivers I think that is going right now. It's, can Jared get him the ball?
Yes.
yeah, he has. I mean, he had a great year last year. I think the Justin
Oh,
Jefferson stuff is speaks more to the quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Because now McCarthy's out for the year. I think people were like really, really like overhyping what they thought McCarthy would be. And I mean, listen, he played really poorly in the beginning of that preseason game, but then he lit it up the rest of the way in the rest of that preseason game. I think people figured he would have the keys to the car sooner rather than later. But now it's Darnold's show, and I think people are just a little nervous about the
I
quarterback
faked in
position
our
in
guy,
Minnesota.
Sammy Darnold.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, I think that's why you're seeing him fall in draft boards, is people are hesitant because of the quarterback situation in Minnesota. But honestly, we want to let everybody know that we're going to do, I believe next week, Tick, is the fantasy show.
Yep.
Right. So if you have your fantasy questions, right,
Yeah,
Tick,
we'd
or
love to hear
whatever.
him.
I don't know, Tick, you take it from here. You know better than I do.
Yeah. So next week is going to be the first week. Last year we did a fantasy football show where you send in your questions. You ask everything that you are uncomfortable with, or you have questions about, or you want our answers from, especially from Mikey, especially from Joe. You get your answers. Just give us the questions, and we will spend pretty much the whole show, probably an hour and a half, just fielding those questions. And that's going to be next week, the fantasy show, because when is ours? Or by the time that episode comes out, will we have already drafted?
We're
drafting on Thursday.
Tick. We're drafting in 2 days.
All right.
This guy
Well,
this guy went from
I said it
commissioner
80 times
to
Tick.
not knowing what's
He's
going
jet
on.
lagged. He's jet lagged.
Transferring
He's
power.
jet lagged a little bit. I see some bags under those eyes.
This
Ticket's
guy is-
a little
Bro.
tired, dog.
Bro,
Ticket's tired.
you want to know about my travel day? I'm not going to bore people with it, but I got home a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
man,
Listen,
a
Tick,
Couple hours
you know what?
ago.
And
I mean,
know
I
what?
got banged Sunday. We
And
got
you know
destroyed
what? I
Sunday.
left Sunday. So
Yeah,
It's
that's
been a minute.
wild.
Whoa, wait, you traveled for 24 hours?
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did, Joe. Yeah, it was about 24 hours.
That's
Yeah.
fucking wild, dude. I
Oh
thought
my
ours was bad.
God.
I mean, we left 2:30 Eastern time, Jersey. And then
Newark is a problem, dude. That Newark airport is a
we didn't
fucking
get in. We didn't
problem.
get in until after midnight, and we didn't get home until 2 in the morning. So we were, it
Oh
was
man.
it was a 12-hour day. But the issue was that there was like and wasn't all in New Jersey, but
Storms.
Essex County was inundated with flash flooding. So they held up the tarmac and the runway, and we had a circle in the air for an hour before they even let the plane land.
When I left to go to Vancouver, there was nothing but storms. Newark area is like a storm front
Dude,
right now. I've never seen anything like it.
they moved me. I was supposed to land in Newark. They moved me to LaGuardia.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
sucks, bro.
what?
That's I know. I mean, that
Wasn't
sucks.
great,
It's just
but
sucks.
yeah. All right, let's get into some sports. Let's get into our teams. Mikey, it's been a minute. Caleb has played a couple of games. Let's talk about the Bears. How do you feel about the Bears? How do you feel about everything going on over there? What do you think?
Feel really good. Reason number one, they've avoided catastrophic preseason injury, which is always the biggest thing for me in the preseason, especially nowadays. Not so much back in the day, but nowadays it's like, can you escape preseason without some kind of freak accident where some star player tears his ACL or his Achilles or something fucking nuts? Kind of like the issue with McCarthy and, some of these other guys who have dropped in the preseason a little bit. But they avoided catastrophic injury. They've gotten Caleb some significant playing time. I thought, only a couple series in that game after the Hall of Fame game against the Bills. But I thought in the Bills game, he looked very good. He made a great third down throw. He made a great rollout throw to Komet on the sideline. Last week, 3 straight 3-and-out drives for the Bears against the Bengals defense. But Eberflus kept putting him in, which I
Why
loved.
do they play him so much? Do you like that?
Well, because they already announced that none of the starters are playing this Thursday night. So they're benching all the starters for this Thursday night.
Okay.
So I think they probably knew that going into the game. So they were like, we want them to play a half. And that's pretty much what they did. Defense, they started taking some guys out. Anyway, the drive they came in where Caleb scored the touchdown, the running touchdown before the end of the half. I mean, he makes an insane circus throw to Roma Dunze. Listen, there's going to be bumps in the road with this kid. There's no question. He's going to turn the ball over. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to hold the ball a little bit too long. But what I've seen is you could pick up immediately on like leadership tendencies, how he controls the line of scrimmage, making audibles at the line of scrimmage, going through progressions, reading the whole field, not going one read and go. And I haven't seen that from a quarterback in Chicago in a very, very, very long time. So for me, that's a reason to be excited. The defense on the other side has been against starters, Josh Allen, and against, Burrow in live practices. Burrow didn't play in the preseason game, but they picked off Joe Burrow 3 times in live practices. The defense looks really good, and they haven't allowed a lot of points. And,
They were good last year too.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they build on that. It looks like they have some depth finally, which is important for them. They never really had too much depth over there either. So I'm excited about them. But again, if anyone is a Bears fan out there, you have to temper your expectations and remember that this kid is only a rookie. And it's going to be tough to temper those expectations because he could go out there and he could make those throws that like only 2 other guys or 3 other guys in this league can make those throws. Mahomes, Josh Allen, maybe Lamar Jackson, where they're outside the pocket and they're making throws like that. It's a special talent. It's a different type of talent. And I just hope he stays healthy and it should be an exciting year anyway. I think it'll be exciting.
That pass to Roma Dunze on the run was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was insane. That was wild.
Now he spun, and I don't think he had to spin at that juncture.
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, it just shows what it shows is his athletic,
Prowess.
what he's got. Prowess.
His whole thing is going to be: is he going to be able to take what the defense gives him and take the dink and dunk shit?
Right.
Because the dink and dunk stuff is the bread and butter that keeps the drives alive, that keeps consistency and good rhythm alive. And, it doesn't have to be a home run every play. And I think he's got a little bit of that gunslinger, like wants to make these big plays. And listen, they're great when it happens, but if he could get into that mode where he's going to start taking the underneath stuff and he's going to start chipping away on these defenses,
Yeah.
then those home run plays are going to come a little bit easier because the defense has to cheat up a little bit if you keep taking that stuff underneath. So that's going to be critical for him. The relationship with the offense coordinator, Shane Waldron, he's got to get him playing like that and buying into that. And if he does,
who do you guys play week 1?
The Tennessee Titans at home.
So, Mikey, if you guys manhandle the Titans in week 1, are we going to be hearing about you, the Bears, Super Bowl, and all?
No, Super Bowl. I'm not going to say anything about
Okay.
this.
All right. Fair enough.
That's not even.
I mean, Mikey, listen, may I go on a halftime rant when I'm all jacked up?
For sure you will.
Of course I will. But like in reality, I could always dial that back and have a real conversation about what I think is actually going to happen. But the halftime stuff and all those live rants is just like, to me, that's just fun. And like people really seem to enjoy it. So that's why I do it. I don't actually believe some of the things that I say. I say insane things. Like if you've ever listened to my halftime rants on IG, I say crazy shit.
There's some of my favorite content of anything I've ever seen.
Right. And it's just because I lose my mind. But
more so when the Bears are playing shitty. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, it's tough.
Mikey, I have a question for you. How do you think I just wonder with Caleb Williams is going to get hit quite a lot, you know? Ticket's having a
how's that pie
over there. Jesus.
Let me get a look at that pie. Let me get a look at a slice there. Where are you right now? Little pepperoni, dog.
These guys having a full meal.
I could go for a pepperoni slice right now.
Whenever I go home, it's called Dominic's. It's fantastic.
Great name. Is there a K on the end of that, Dominic, or just a C?
Yeah, there sure is.
There's a K
at the end of that name.
Yeah,
not that great of a name then. All right.
It'd be better for his Domenico's. Anyways, what I was saying is, how do you think he's going to hold up by getting hit, especially if he's running out of the pocket and stuff? Like, do you think he's going to be? I mean, he doesn't look like a huge guy. Like Justin Fields looks like, you know, he's a lot more buffed and up and strong than Caleb Williams. Do you think he's going to be battered and bruised by the end of the year, or do you think he's going to be just fine?
What I've noticed about Caleb is like, as much as he's been running out of the pocket, like he's not taking hits. Like I don't even know how many times this preseason he's been sacked. I think he's taken 1 sack. I may be completely off on that. I think he's taken 1 sack. He's a little different. He gets rid of the ball. He'll throw the ball away. He's shorter than Fields. He's only 6 feet tall. Fields was 6'3". But when I look at Caleb, I see a thick guy. I don't see some like, he doesn't look like a Kyler Murray or like a Bryce Young.
Kyler Murray is ridiculously small.
Or Bryce Young or somebody like that. He's got meat on his bones, Caleb. And I just I don't know. Like, I hope he doesn't take a lot of hits. It seems to me like he's doing a pretty good job avoiding a lot of contact, sliding on his runs, which is something that's very important. And, you know, Justin Fields, man, like Pittsburgh fans again, like I just, man, I hope he does well. I really, really hope he does well and he finds whatever it is. But I've just seen that movie so many times where he'll make a spectacular play and then just the next play, like the ball security and taking a horrific sack or running to the sideline to try and extend a play and he runs out of bounds rather than throwing the ball away. Like he can't take those. Caleb cannot take a beating like Fields took a beating.
That's what I'm saying.
And be successful. But I honestly think the offensive line is much improved. They have receivers who get open way more often. Justin Fields really had nobody there. His last year, he had DJ Moore, finally a legitimate wide receiver 1. But prior to that, he had fucking Chase Claypool and Dante Pettis and Equanimous St. Brown. He was throwing the ball to.
Well, they had Mooney too.
Yeah, and Mooney, you know, I'm very curious to see how Mooney does in Atlanta. I mean, that could be, if Mooney doesn't go off with Kirk Cousins, then he's never going to go off, because I do like Darnell Mooney. Don't get me wrong. But even when Darnell Mooney was doing his best, Bears fans they're so starved for offensive output that they made Darnell Mooney into something that he's not. He's not a wide receiver 1. He's not even a wide receiver 2. He could be a very, very proficient wide receiver 3. I think he could be a 3 guy, but you know what I mean?
When you first got him, you guys were very excited as far as like he was supposed to be the guy.
Well, I mean, not really. He was drafted in the 5th round out of Tulane. It wasn't like
Yeah,
he had
you
any kind
guys
of
were
real hype
very
coming.
excited, like we finally have a wide receiver.
Well, because he did perform, but again, like who is he being compared to? That's what I mean. There was such an absence of talent at that position. You had a washed up Allen Robinson, who, by the way, everyone who was saying, "Oh, it's only because he's with the Bears that he started declining." No, it's not, because he went to L.A. He didn't do anything. Then he went to, who was he with last year? The Giants, or who was
Yeah.
he with? He
Mooney,
did nothing. No, Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson was
He
with.
was with the Rams. He did nothing when he left the Bears, nothing. And then he went to another team last year. I don't know.
He was with Pittsburgh last year, Michael.
Pittsburgh. Okay, yeah, and he was
Pittsburgh.
terrible.
Joe, how are the Green Bay Packers going?
Well, I mean, the first game we saw one drive out of Jordan Love, 65-yard touchdown pass, tremendous stuff. He didn't play. He didn't play this last week. They didn't play him at all. So, we lost 27-2. I don't take too much stock in preseason games, Mikey. I don't know about you. I think it's more so just like getting some reps, but I do feel with this contract situation with Jordan Love behind us, I do really feel like it's a situation now where Jordan Love can go out and do his thing and really just kind of be the man and own the team and like just really feel comfortable. I think for a quarterback, when you see a team commit to you like that, like they're basically handing you the keys to the team. He has every opportunity now to be successful, right? The team has committed to him. They said, this is our guy. We're not letting him walk. We're not letting him go anywhere else. So I really expect big things out of him this year. Last year was kind of one of those years where like, okay, temper expectations. We don't know what we're going to get. We saw great things out of him. He came out, he fucking flourished. And Michael, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I really think this year, the expectation that I have as a Packers fan is for this guy to go out and compete. And if he does it, quite frankly, I'm gonna be a little bit let down because we're paying the guy a lot of money.
The expectation is well above just competing. I think
To be a top tier quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're paying him as, obviously one of the highest paid quarterback in football in terms of AAV, the annual contract money per year. But listen, his success the second half of the season in the little mini playoff run that they had last year, and I said it a bunch of times over, he looked like one of the best guys in the league to me during that run. It's just that, it's just wild. He's got to put a complete season together, which he hasn't done yet, but he hasn't had the opportunity. He only had one opportunity. So, you know what? I'd rather see a guy who maybe did struggle the first half and then second half went gangbusters and goes out and wins a playoff game on the road and then should have really almost won against a team that represented the NFC. So, for me, Green Bay and Jordan Love, like Jordan Love is the expectations could not be any higher for Jordan Love. I mean, it's going to be, compete for this division and make the playoffs. Like you have to make the playoffs if you're Green Bay after you give him a contract like that. You don't give contracts to quarterbacks like that if they're not going to make the playoffs. So the division's tough. But he's got weapons around him. Packers are always just a good team. And I'm curious to see if he's going to put the whole thing together this year from start to finish. Because certainly when he looks good and he's in rhythm and he gets rid of the ball really fast. He's very frustrating if you're a defense to go against. So, again, another guy. I think there's going to be mistakes because naturally it's only his second full year as a starter, but I think the consistency has to be there from start to finish this year in order to call Jordan Love successful now that they've paid him all that money. And Joe, make no mistake about it. You pay him that contract. He is the official face of the franchise. I mean, they made him the face of the franchise. And you know what? Good for Green Bay, because I think there was a lot of malcontent, I think, and some back and forth and conflict when they drafted him because of who was the quarterback was at the time, Aaron Rodgers.
It's like a repeat of the Favre and Rodgers situation.
I mean, and good for them. They stuck with him. More importantly, he stuck with them. He didn't make it a big thing. He didn't cry about playing time. They downplayed it. And now he goes out, he goes on that run, and the guy gets paid. They did right by him because honestly, it's not like he's a new jack on the block. This kid's been there now for years. It's not like he's some rookie. It's not like he's a second year guy. He's been there. He put his time in. He shut up. He did all the right things, comes out, performs, wins a road playoff game, probably should have won another one, and he gets the bag. Now, do I agree with the bag he got? That's another conversation to have. But
Yeah.
but they did right by him. And Green Bay is an organization that typically does right by the quarterback. They're great at finding them, and they always take care of them usually. They got to continue to build around them a little bit, get them some more pieces, I think. That's where they've historically had a little bit of an issue. But it's all there for him.
Young
it's all there for him.
So, Michael, I think those young receivers with another year under their belt.
Sure.
You look at some of these guys,
Dobbs and Watson.
Watson can stay healthy. Dobbs, I with this Wicks, I think has a lot of opportunity, and Jalen Reed is another guy coming out of Michigan State who I love. My biggest thing is with the Packers, Tick, going back to what I was saying, is what are they going to do on defense? They got a brand new defensive coordinator coming out from Boston College. This Jeff Hafley replaces Joe Barry. Joe Barry, I really don't think he just did not address the issues the Packers had, trying to get interior pressure on the quarterback, getting turnovers, getting their cornerbacks and their safeties now, I think they're going to be really, really good. I'm just excited to see what this Jeff Hafley, is going to do with the defensive team. What kind of, defensive schemes is he going to run? Are we going to blitz more? What are we going to do? Because, it seems like always with the Packers, when we needed big stops, we just never got them, And I think if the defense can improve and can give a guy like Jordan Love an opportunity, to not have to score a ton of points every game, I like the Packers' chances of going back and making the playoffs.
I could tell you this about Jeff Hafley. He was an Ohio State guy. He coached Ohio State. He was the co-defensive coordinator in 2019 when they had that defense that lost to Clemson in that very close game with Jeff Okudah and Chase Young and all those big-time names they had there. Their defense, that was the last really great Ohio State defense, was under Jeff Hafley. So I know Jeff Hafley could coach because that's the last time Ohio State had a very dominant defense. Last year, they improved for sure. This year, they should be lights out. But Hafley is a good coach. So I could only give you an endorsement to what I've seen and paid attention.
No, I know. I'm excited about it. I think it's good.
I think Hafley is a good. Hafley, to me, gets a stamp of approval for what I saw. He was only there for 19 to 20, and he got a job. So I mean, that's a good endorsement for him. So Packers again. It's all there for Jordan Love. It's all there. The division's gonna be tough, man.
It's gonna be really tough.
Division.
I do expect the Packers to compete for the division. I really do. Yeah. I think the Vikings with the turnover on their quarterback and not having Cousins.
It's gonna be tough.
I don't think they're gonna be great. The Lions, I think, are gonna still be good. The real question mark, Michael, are your Bears. That is the real. Yeah. That's the real thing that we don't know what we're going to get. And I think you could see a Bears team come out of this and be really fucking good. And all of a sudden now that division is a dogfight, or the Bears could have, a little bit of a, first year kind of, figuring things out with Caleb Williams and be like, 7-10, 6-11 team.
Yeah. Here's the beneficial thing for the Bears is they have like the third weakest schedule in the NFL, which is really helpful for Caleb. I mean, that's gonna benefit him. Their schedule is very, very weak.
We should go through the schedule. Well, I think it's good because we're just talking about how it's the third easiest. Let's go through it.
Okay, so they have week 1 Tennessee. I think that it's at home. It's a winnable game. They're favorites in the game. I think that's a game that they should win. Will Levis. I mean, listen. Nothing to take nothing away from Tennessee. Every game is going to be difficult to predict with a rookie quarterback because you don't know what's going to happen because the preseason at the end of the day really means nothing. But I would take the Bears in a win against Tennessee. They play Houston the following week. Now that game, I believe,
that could be a loss, Michael.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just trying to see if it's home or away. It is an away game too. Yeah, so I'll chalk up an L. I'll chalk up an L in that game, only out of respect to Houston. So that's a loss. Then they got Indy away. That's a game I think they should win against Indianapolis. Although Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Robinson. Now Anthony Robinson, again, I don't know how he's going to do. We'll see. Following week, Rams at home. That's a game they're favored in as well. I don't know. I don't know how the Rams are going to do this year. Again, Stafford.
They were hit or miss last year. They were good and then bad and then.
Yeah, I mean, if that game was away in LA, but at home, outside, I think that's a game that they could win. Carolina at home is a game they should win. Jacksonville, Jacksonville is in London that game. So really home field advantage don't mean nothing. I'll say that they lose to the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars could be frisky this year. So I'll give a loss there. Commanders away. Commanders
that should
away.
Still be a win.
I think they should win that game. Arizona. Arizona.
That's on the road.
I got Arizona away.
Yeah, Mikey, put that book back up. Look at that book.
It's my book. Yeah, it's my book. My Bible. Yeah. Arizona away, you said, Joe?
That should be a win.
Yeah, that should be a win. I agree. New England at home. That should be a win.
Dude, you got an easy ass schedule.
Green Bay at home. I'll be at that game. That's week 11.
Are you going to be there, Michael?
Yeah, I'll be there for that game.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I now see that's a game that, like, if they split the series with Green Bay, I would hope they win the home game. But until they beat the Packers, I won't pick them to beat the Packers. So I'll say it's a loss. The Vikings at home now with the Vikings by that time, week 12,
it's a win.
I don't know, but I'm going to take a win next week at Detroit. I think that's a loss. Following week at San Francisco, I think that's a loss. The following week at away against Minnesota, I'll give Minnesota a win just to split the series. Then they get Detroit at home. Listen, last year the Bears befuddled. They should have beat the Lions twice, honestly.
I don't know how they blew that one game.
I know. So at home against the Lions, dome team very late in the season. You're talking week 16. Goff in that cold weather. He doesn't like cold weather. I'll take the Bears in that game. Then home against Seattle, week 17. I'll take them to win that game. And then Green Bay away, I'm going to give them another loss. So if we're going by that, it's
what, 4 losses or 5 losses?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losses.
Oh, so 7 losses.
10 and 7. I think that's about right.
That would get them a playoff spot, Michael.
I think they'll end up around 9 wins, but 10 is, I think 10's the ceiling for them. I think 10 would be spectacular. I think it would be a successful year, may even get you a wild card berth.
I would think 10 wins would get you with 3 wild cards now, Mikey. Yep. I would think 10 wins.
I hope so.
If 10 wins doesn't get you a wild card.
So was a lot of this based on Caleb? Would you feel the same way if it was Justin Fields?
No. Okay. Listen, listen, look at the shirt I'm wearing. I have his rookie card behind me. I have his jersey. I love Justin Fields. I loved him at Ohio State. When the Bears drafted him, I was ecstatic. Justin Fields, until I see something that completely changes my eyeballs and my brain, I just don't see how Justin Fields could be successful operating an NFL pocket. I watched him. It's tough watching him go through progressions. He doesn't like to go past his first read. Pittsburgh fans may come crazy at me in the comments. I think he's one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen play the position. I think he's a great kid. But if this was a schedule with Justin Fields, I'd have to reevaluate how I feel about it. I would, because I don't think he could play the position in the NFL. I just don't. And that's not a knock on him. I think
he can play the position. I don't know how good he can play it at. There are guys who are backups in the league, who are a lot worse than Justin Fields.
Dude, I think he would be a very, very solid backup. But I just don't think that he's ever going to be a consistent NFL quarterback. He doesn't make starting NFL quarterback.
He just doesn't make smart decisions. And it's like the guy's got all the talent in the world. He's shown it time and time again. It's just he doesn't get rid of the ball. And he also doesn't make the smart decision when he's either needs to get rid of it or go through the progression of plays. He doesn't often make the right play. He'll make the play that is like less likely to be successful.
And people are going to say, well, the quarterbacks that have average held the ball the longest in the preseason is actually Justin Fields 1, Caleb Williams 2. That's a fact.
Really?
The difference is that Caleb Williams, when he's holding the ball, is going through progressions.
Trying to throw it.
He's not doing fucking, circus moves. Has he done it? Yes. But most of the time, he's actually gotten great protection from the offensive line. They've given him an incredible amount of time, at least in the preseason, which is a very refreshing thing to see. But he's going through progressions and hitting his third option, his fourth option. That's the thing I never saw with Justin. It was one read bailout, one read bailout, one read bailout. Right. You cannot be consistent doing that. You can't.
Sometimes he didn't even look at a read. He just started running.
Dude, yeah, it was, well, and listen, did the Bears do him any favors? Absolutely fucking not. His rookie year was an absolute, that could ruin a guy's career, and perhaps it did, because what they did to him when he started his first game on the road in Cleveland was one of the most egregious, disgusting things I've ever seen. What Matt Nagy did to him. They threw him to the dogs, literally the dog pound, and he got sacked, I think, 7 times in that game.
Yeah.
It was disgusting what they did to him. And that could ruin you. Because from that moment on, his first instinct is going to be, oh shit, I got to run. Oh shit, I got to run. So yeah, that's why, Joe, it wouldn't have changed if it was Justin. It would change if it was Justin. Yeah. With Caleb, I think a little bit differently. I just think Caleb is I listen to him talk about the defenses like after, and it's just like listening to a totally different perspective from the quarterback position. This kid was like it was almost like he's been groomed to play that position since he was a child. Like, it's incredible. He's so professional, so well-spoken. I hope it works out. I know all the shit about the fingernails and the crying at the crying at during the, I get all that. I really do. But listen, guys, to be fair, I think the Bears defense, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore are a little bit more talented than what he was playing with at USC last year. Yeah, that's just my opinion. He didn't have much of a supporting cast around him at USC.
He's got a great supporting cast now. They're one of the best wide receiver corps.
And how about the year when he won the Heisman? He had Jordan Addison. How did he do that year? He won the fucking Heisman Trophy. So, listen, people want to get on him just for that little stretch of games last year. USC was dog shit. You want to get on somebody, get on that Lincoln clown Riley. That they gave a private jet to come sign there. The guy never won a national title before. Get on that guy a little bit. Get on Mr. Lincoln Riley. No, Tick. Saying.
All right, and moving on to Joe, let's go to the Packers schedule. Joe, what's going on with the Packers schedule?
Yeah, let's go through this kind of how Mikey did quickly too. So week 1 we have the Eagles game. This is in Brazil, so this is, by the way, we talked about this. Wild. You guys get screwed out of a. You guys get screwed right out of the gates out of a home game. I hate that so much as a fan when there's a game that's on the road, and not even on the road, that's international, and then they count that as a home game, so you're right out of the gates losing. I will say, I think the Eagles are good. I think they're going to be one of the top teams in the NFC this year. I think they really are. I'll take an L on that. Then they come down.
Joe, I think you're going to win that game.
Well, let me say, I think you guys win this one.
Okay.
I'll go 0-1 to start the season off. We come back at home. We're playing against the Colts at home in Lambeau Field. Listen, Anthony Richardson, we talked about it. Guy is
oh my God, I called him Anthony Robinson.
Yeah, I didn't want to say.
No, you should have interrupted me because talking about Allen Robinson, and that was the issue.
Anthony Richardson coming back from a big injury. They got a ground attack with him and Jonathan Taylor. If they both stay healthy, that is really good. But I do think that the Packers playing at home can get the best of these guys. So I'll chalk that one up as a win. Then we go off to Tennessee. Again, similar argument that Mikey made. Will Levis, I just don't know what to expect out of him early on in the season. I think the Packers sneak one there. That's another win. So that's now 2-1. Then they return home to play the Vikings. It's a divisional game at home. I think that they can get that. Then they go cross country and they play the Rams on the road. I'm going to say the Rams win this one. The Rams are a really, really interesting team. We played them last year at Green Bay and we won. But again, by this point of the season, is Matt Stafford going to be healthy? What's happening? Kyron Williams, is he going to have this? How much of a role is he going to be playing? But they got weapons, man. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. They got guys that can make plays. I think they're a different team. I think when they play in LA at the Dome, they're a much better team. So I'll take them there. So that's a second loss for the Packers. Then we go at home. We play the Cardinals. I'm going to chalk that up as a win. We then play the Texans at home.
That'd be a great game.
That is going to be a very, very good game.
Yeah.
Um,
you're a 2.5 point favorite in that game.
I'm going to take the Packers to win that game. I think it's going to go down to the wire, but I do think playing at home, I think that we'll get it. We then go on the road to Jacksonville. Shockingly enough, I'm going to take this as a loss. I think that this Jacksonville team, much like Mikey said, they're a team that can sneak up on you and can play really good football. Really, they go as Trevor Lawrence goes, but I'll take that as a loss. They then play a couple divisional games. They're at home against the Lions.
Okay.
I think we win this game. I think we will split the series with the Lions. I think whether we're winning, I think we're more likely to win at Lambeau than in Detroit. So I'll take this as a win. Then we play in Chicago. I don't know here, man. I'm going to take this as a win, and it's nothing against the Bears.
You have to. Again, it was my
We have had
too.
such success against you guys that
until you lose a game, you got to pick them.
Until I start to see otherwise, I just can't. I can't take that. We then go at home against the Niners. We never beat the Niners. I'm taking that as a loss.
Never.
And you know what? I don't know when we will beat this team. It may be never. So that's now our fourth loss. Then we then play at home against the Dolphins. This is in November, end of November, cold climate. I don't think Tua's going to go into Lambeau and win that
suitcase
game.
packed by that point.
At that point, I think we win that game. And then we go into Detroit, December 5th game. I'm gonna put that as a loss. I do think Detroit is the real deal. I think they're a good team. So now I think I have that as, what is that, 5 losses now?
5 losses, yeah. You're at 5 losses.
In Seattle, I'm going to take that as a win. We play the Saints and their dog shit quarterback at home. We're going to take that as a win. And then we play the Vikings and the Bears. Vikings in Minnesota.
Home, right? Oh, Vikings is away. Vikings is away.
I'm going to put both of those as wins, man. I think the Packers are like a 12-5, 11-6 caliber team. And you know what? I do think I do think that they're at that level. That's the expectation I have going into this year's.
You have them at 12-5.
12-5, but I'm saying, Mikey, I would see 11-6 too. Sure. I expect this team to surpass 10 wins this year.
Yeah,
I really think that they have the pieces in place.
Schedule ain't bad either, dog.
Schedule not ain't that bad. By the way, I put them down as a loss against a team like Jacksonville. It really just depends, when you're looking at the schedule ahead of time like this, there's so many variables. Who's going to be hurt? Who's going to be healthy? Yes. So it's hard to say. But if I just look at the roster, I look at what we have and the teams that we're playing, I really expect the Packers to have at least 10 wins this year.
So
I really
Vegas 2024 NFL strength of schedule based on Vegas forecasted win totals. Bears are the 3rd easiest. They got Green Bay as the 19th ranked team. So they got them like a little under the middle of the pack. I think that's about right with the schedule that they have. Like middle of the pack, a little bit underneath.
Where are the Eagles?
Eagles are the 9th easiest schedule in the league.
Okay.
Wow.
According to this.
So, Joe, I forget what you said. Do you think that you're going to beat us week 1?
I said yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We just went back and forth.
You said the Eagles were going to win, Joe.
Yeah, I'm saying the Eagles are going to beat us.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry. I heard that wrong. I think the Eagles are going to get the win on that first week. That's the opening game of the NFL season.
I tell you what, Joe, I think if I'm going to go through my, schedule, God.
Saquon, man. Saquon is going to be a difference maker.
Saquon is going to be a beast.
Just got to see if that offensive line is going to be as good without Jason Kelce. That really, to me, is going to be the entire key.
How can you imagine that it would be?
Yeah, no. Okay, so let me take that back. Maybe not as good or as organized, but as efficient, maybe I could say. Like, are they going to be an efficient unit? As they're always typically efficient, but then again, he's been there forever. Can they come close? If they could come close, I think they'll be all right. I really do, especially in the run game, because Saquon could go off this year. He
Oh,
could
he's
go
going
off.
to.
He's going to play so fucking angry, this kid, especially
Yeah.
playing in that division. I can't believe that he got
That
to stay in that
ESPN
division.
draft
He's going to
fantasy.
punish. He's going to punish.
He was picked first round, 10th overall in that ESPN
I don't
draft.
doubt it. I don't doubt it.
All
Take
right,
your
so,
turn, buddy.
yeah. So I'm gonna give the Packers the win on that one.
Oh,
I think
really?
They're gonna be 1-0. I think we're gonna be 0-1.
Okay.
I'm gonna give the Packers the win there. Then we go to Atlanta. Oh, they're coming up.
Home against
Yep.
Atlanta. Yep.
Atlanta. I'd
That
like
should be
to
a
think
win.
that we win that one, but the whole thing is whether Jalen. It's what Jalen Hurts you're gonna get. Is he gonna?
Yeah,
get
but Atlanta though,
years
Tick.
ago?
I mean, Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins.
Different
Now,
team
Kirk
with
Cousins.
Kirk, though, dog.
Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that's true.
And remember, they just
It has
added Bates.
nothing to do
They
with
got
Kirk
they got
Cousins.
Matthew Judon now. They're trying to fix that defense up a little
Right.
bit. They could be a little bit better, but I still think that I would imagine.
I
you
think
gotta
the
pick
Eagles are
Eagles,
better
though.
than the Falcons.
Yeah,
so
but
I think it could be close, Tick. I think it'd be a close game.
it's at home too.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think it just depends on what are we getting Jalen Hurts from 2 years ago, or are we getting him from last year?
Yeah.
He continues to develop and be the guy that we all know that he can be, then it's a different story. So it's almost unclear to decipher such a schedule the same way that Mikey did too, where it's like it's a rookie quarterback, it's all
Yeah,
these,
it's tough.
like, you don't really know. With Jalen Hurts, it's like you don't know which guy you're getting, because I've seen great things and I've seen terrible things. And he's got a great supporting cast.
So are you taking a win or a loss there?
I'll take a win. I'll take a win
Okay.
over the Falcons, even though I actually think they're getting a lot better. The Saints with their dog shit quarterback, I'd like to think we get a win there. So we're 2-1. Walking into week 4, heading to James Stadium. Playing the
Raymond,
Bucs.
Raymond James. Yep.
Yep.
Tick, you're beating Baker Mayfield there. Are you kidding me, Tick?
Yeah, there's something about playing in Tampa Bay that's always hard.
Playing in Florida early in the year is always shitty. It
It's
always
always
is
shitty.
because it's miserable weather. Always. It's
I'm
just
gonna
It's
hot.
hot.
I'm going to take a loss there. I'm going to take a
Wow.
loss.
Really?
Yeah, I think we're 2-2, and then we have a bye week, and then we go to and then Cleveland comes to us, and so now we're 2-2. Cleveland comes to us.
Deshaun Watson.
Boy, yeah. If he play, if he makes it to week 5, I'm going to take a win there. I'm going to take a win.
Yeah.
I think that Deshaun Watson is completely washed, man, as far as being a guy who gives a fuck about football. So even if he does play, I think that
Pretty good Browns team last year. I do think the Eagles win that game, but I think that Browns team is it's not for nothing. They're a lot better than people give them credit for.
now, Joe, then we go to MetLife. We're in New York playing the Giants. What do you think about that one? Saquon's first game back.
I think you win the game.
Wow. Do you think he scores a touchdown?
Probably. They're probably going to feed him the rock a lot.
If Saquon scores a touchdown in that game in MetLife against the Giants, the first game back, the place is going to go fucking nuts.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's gonna.
I think you'd have to think that they're going to hand him the ball every chance
Yep.
they're
Yes.
near the end zone
Yes.
to get him that touchdown.
Everyone and their mother will be betting Saquon Barkley props that week. Everybody.
But I don't think he left on bad terms with the team, right? Like I don't think there's like that much bad blood.
I think there was a lot.
I
There was a
think
lot of
They paid
backlash.
Danny Dimes
Yes, that's right.
$1
That's
billion,
right.
Yeah.
and Saquon was by far the better player, and they couldn't possibly have paid him.
But they let him walk, right? Like they could have
They
really fucked him or like made it difficult for him. They kind of let him part ways, But I do see what you're saying.
Mikey, what do you think? As far as, I mean, they paid a different guy who didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think that caused a little rift in the locker room for sure. I think the players, a lot of them didn't appreciate that because Barkley was clearly their best player. And I get it. Jones is the quarterback. It's the most important position in all of major sports. There's no question about that. But I just think that compounded with maybe the fact that they had the chance to get it done with him again after that, and they couldn't. And the stuff that you saw on Hard Knocks and that that they thought that they were going to bring him back, and then I do think he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder against them. I mean, I don't see how he couldn't. I think he's
I
going to
think you
look to
got to
stick
take
it to
him,
him.
Tick. I think you got to take the Eagles there.
Yeah, I will. I will. I just feel like it's one thing if you're paying Joe Burrow, right?
Right.
It's one thing if you're giving the money, but to pay Danny Dimes over arguably, maybe after Christian McCaffrey, the greatest running back in the league, albeit injury
I don't
issue.
know if he's the greatest. I think he's
You don't
top
think that
tier.
you don't
I think
think
he's a
after
top tier
Christian
running back.
McCaffrey, you don't think
I mean,
after
I would
that?
take a guy like Bijan Robinson or Brees Hall over Saquon Barkley.
Wow.
Right now, like in
I
terms of
would.
like the youth and what they have. But I just said I think Saquon is a top tier guy. I do think he's one of the better running backs.
Yeah, I do. I think in like the tiers of running backs, McCaffrey to me stands alone by himself, and then Bijan, and I do think Saquon's still up there. I do.
I think Saquon, when healthy, because that's been my biggest issue, and it's been why I haven't gotten super excited about him being with the Eagles, is that he's got injury issues. But when he is healthy, I do think that he's right behind McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Anyway, moving on to week 8, we've got the Bengals talking about Joe Burrow.
Where are you guys? At home or away?
It's away.
Away. We're at Paycor Stadium, playing the Bengals. I'm going to take that as a loss. I think we're going to lose there.
Okay.
I think Joe Burrow will. I think this is going to be a huge comeback year for Joe Burrow, and I think he's going to throw all over us in that defense that we have. We have not short. A lot of people point towards the offense. A lot of people point towards Jalen Hurts. He wasn't the same guy, but the biggest issue with the Eagles is our defense.
They put a lot of equity into that secondary, though, Tick. They drafted 2 corners back to back.
Yeah, we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, Mikey, they're rookies.
No, I know that, but you can't fault Howie for that. At least
No.
went after it.
They are trying. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still think the Bengals will get him this year, especially at home. So I'll give the Bengals. So what is that? 3-3.
Yeah.
Moving on to week 9, we got the Jaguars, who I actually Joe knows I very much appreciate. I think Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback. Ooh, it's at home for the Eagles. I'm going to give the Eagles a win, but barely. I think
so they'll be 5-3 now at this point because they had a bye.
5-3.
5-3 because they have a bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
5-3 heading to Dallas.
You heading to
that's
Dallas,
a big game.
and everything with Dallas always depends on how Dak is doing. Is Dak healthy? Is he not? You never know. I'm gonna say we lose this first one at AT&T. I'm gonna say we lose this one. Just give me 5-4. Commanders, give me a win. It's at home.
Yep.
Rams, we got to travel to the West Coast. Matt Stafford, y'all know how I love
Tick
me
loves
some
Matt Stafford.
I'm gonna say we win that one.
So 6-4.
And then we go to Baltimore, and I think it's a hard fought game, but I think we lose that game. Lamar Jackson gets the better
So
of us.
6-5.
7-5.
7-5. Sorry, 7-5.
7-5.
Yep. Then we move on to back home playing the Carolina Panthers. I would like to think that we could win that game since they are the worst team in the league. I'm gonna give us a win.
Yeah.
Give us a win, and then we go to still at home Steelers. My boy, Justin Fields. Hopefully,
We don't even know if he's playing, Tick. It's probably going to be Wilson.
Yeah, but hopefully by week 10, he's got the starting job.
Joe.
I mean, Tick.
Joe
What?
I'm the one with the lay on here, and I think you're the one who's sleeping.
Me?
Yeah, you're talking about Justin Fields. He's a backup quarterback for the Steelers.
Oh, you don't think that it's possible by week 15 that Justin Fields has that starting position? You don't think
it's very, very unlikely.
I think they both could stink. It's a problem, man. That's a problem.
You're talking about me being sleepy. How about fucking Russell Wilson? He is the sleepiest guy in the fucking league right now.
You don't like Russell Wilson?
Who do you
I
like?
love
And
Russell
who do you
Wilson.
like there? Tick, you taking them to
Tick, who
beat
do
the
you like?
Steelers?
Okay.
Well, if Justin Fields plays, it's going to be an
At
L.
home. Yeah, at home.
Apparently.
Tick, who do you like? Tick?
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles.
All right. I think it's the
Commanders.
right
I'll
call.
speed this up. Commanders win at DC. Cowboys, they're gonna win. At Philly, they're gonna win. And then
So wait. Cowboys
You
are
have the
gonna win?
Cowboys beating them twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my, Tick.
And
It
then the
all depends on whether fucking Dak is there. But yeah, if what's the backup's name? Chase Rush.
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush.
Yeah, Rush. If Rush is playing, I mean, we're gonna win that game. But yeah, if Dak is there, Dak
Well,
is
you'd like to
regular-
think that Dak is going to play, Tick, unless he gets hurt.
Yeah, but Dak is a regular season hero. He is.
That's what he's saying, though.
That's what I'm saying. Why
No,
would Dak
no,
not-
but that's what Tick. I don't think Tick thinks that Dak is not going to play unless he's.
Well, he
unless
was
he's
just
hurt.
talking about Cooper Rush.
Well, it's week 17. I guess if Dallas goes nuclear and wins a shitload of games, maybe they
That's
rest Dak.
you know,
I, mean,
I don't
guess
think
that's
I don't think he
possible.
was thinking about that, but that's
It's
a good
not unfamiliar. It's not unfamiliar for the Dallas Cowboys by week 17 to have Cooper Rush in as a
No, it's not.
And you
How
still
about
have them beating you?
No, I'm taking them to win. I'm gonna anticipate the Dak plays, and I'm gonna anticipate
Right.
a win in Lincoln Financial in Philly.
And then how about the G-Men finals
week,
game of the
week
season?
18 at home at the Link, we win.
So he's got 6 losses, I think, on the year for
1,
the
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's got him at 11-6.
Yeah, he's got like similar
That's-
as what I got for the Packers. I
It's a
got
good
Packers
record.
12 and
That's
5.
exactly where I think
It's a great record, though,
depends-
Tick.
it all depends on how do we get
I'd kill to win 11 football games, man. Fuck.
But Michael, you're rebuilding. You're
Yeah,
you're not
forbid,
far
the
God
removed.
forbid the
rebuild
Bears
better
win
be
the
fucking
first
over,
2 games
dog.
of the season. We're gonna get the worst Mikey we've ever fucking
Here we
seen.
go.
Most cocky piece
Yeah,
of
because I'll be happy. Sorry. My happiness makes you sad, Tick.
if the Bears being good is anything like Ohio State being good, then we're in for a
I mean, Ohio State's
long
great
year.
every year, though. I don't go on Instagram after they beat fucking Akron and start acting like a jerk off. You know what I mean? I just want to beat Michigan. That's all I want. Just beat
I've
Michigan.
never seen someone hate a team so much as
Yeah, I
Michael
hate
does
those- I hate
with
those
Michigan.
motherfuckers.
Like it to the point where like if a guy came from Michigan, he wouldn't want him on the Bears just because it
That's
doesn't matter
not
who-
necessarily true. That's not
It's
necessarily
pretty true. If Aiden Hutchinson would have went to the
Yeah.
Bears instead of the Lions, I'm sure you would have been a little.
Would
not
you
Yeah.
like
smitten
Aiden
about it.
Hutchinson on the Bears?
Would I like him?
Yeah.
Sure, he's a good pro. I could use
Yeah,
a
but
great.
he-
I
he-
could
he
use a
would've-
complimentary
he's a
edge
good
rusher to
pro.
Montez Sweat.
He is a great pro.
Yes, I know. I just said I could use a great edge rusher opposite Montez Sweat. It would be great. I would take him in a heartbeat. I would
All
take
right.
Tom Brady too in his prime.
Would
When he's
you
Mr. fucking Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or
Last
at least he was.
Didn't play much for the Wolverines. It's not like he beat the shit out of your Ohio State Buckeyes there for a long time. He was mainly on the bench, but you didn't have to watch him beat the shit out of you. I feel like that would be a harder. That's why I think Aiden Hutchinson would be a tougher grab.
It's a good.
Well,
That's
I
why.
mean, but
I used
Aiden
him as an
Hutchinson
example.
didn't beat the shit out of Ohio State either. Aiden Hutchinson only
Oh,
beat Ohio
he was-
State one time. He beat them
he-
one time.
he
He
was a
lost to
caused
them
a
every
lot
other
of-
time.
Yeah,
He
but
lost
he
to them
caused-
every
Buckeye
other time.
beat him.
He caused
What?
problems for you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
sure
did. He beat him once. We beat him.
I am
3
not
other
saying about
times.
beating him. I'm saying he was
We're not talking
fucking
about-
sacking your quarterback.
I mean,
he was causing
listen, you want to
havoc.
talk when you talk about guys who give problems in that series, you talk about like Mike Hart going 0-4 against Ohio State against Michigan. Jake Long 0-4 against Ohio State when he was at Michigan.
Mikey,
On the
we're
flip
not
side,
we're not talking about beating the
JT
team.
Barrett. What are you talking
Mikey,
about that?
We're not talking about beating
Because the guy had one good game
Aiden
against them?
Hutchinson caused
He had a great
problems.
game.
We're
Yes,
talking
he did.
He
Yes,
caused
he did.
problems
Yes,
for your quarterback.
He caused a lot of problems in one game. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You're right about that.
I would
You're
go
right
as far
about
as
that,
to
Dick.
say that he was instrumental in helping Michigan win that game.
I would agree with you 100%. I just wouldn't say that he was a problem for us in his tenure at Michigan. He won one time.
Yeah.
But in that game, yes, in that one game,
But Mikey, he doesn't
legendary
play,
performance
He doesn't
for
play
him.
quarterback. It's not like you can't say he won or he lost.
There's
You
plenty of
can't
guys in
say
this series,
that
though,
he
Tick, that
caused
didn't.
problems for your
Yes, Tick,
quarterback.
Tick, but there's plenty of guys in this series that didn't play the quarterback position that are icons in that series. Ezekiel Elliott. On the flip side, Desmond Howard. On the flip side, Tim Biaka-Batuka. There's plenty of guys that didn't play the quarterback position that are legends in that series because what they did in one game. Aiden Hutchinson falls into that category for Michigan, certainly. He does. I'm just saying his career there.
I know what you're both saying. I know what Michael's saying, but I also know
what Ticket's saying also.
Is that it's very hard for one player to secure a dub unless it's a quarterback.
Yes, it is.
So I see what you're both saying, but we should move on now because now I feel like
it's your fault you brought it up, Joe.
Well, no, but I was saying that, to Ticket's point, that when it comes to Michigan, you would be very hard pressed to welcome in to your fold, to your home of the Chicago Bears, a very successful burgeoning talent from the University of Michigan Wolverine.
I would take a Michigan Wolverine any day in Chicago. I would.
Then I stand corrected.
I would.
Well, if that's true, then
if they're gonna produce for the Bears, then they're gonna produce. But if they stink, that'll be a problem.
That'd be a real problem.
That'll be a problem.
They will get a much bigger beating than Ohio State product.
Yes.
And I love when Mikey goes off on Bears players. I'll never forget the time when he had the Chase Claypool fashion runway photo just littered on his stories, just absolutely.
You want to talk about one of the biggest pro clowns in the history of clowns? It's Chase Claypool. That guy is an absolute clown, dog.
Mikey, did he go to Ohio State?
No, he went to Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
And he was a clown.
We're going to move on to who's a problem. Joe, geez, I can't imagine there's a problem with a lay around your neck. Spending time.
I will say there's a couple problems I have. I'll go quickly.
4 seasons in Hawaii, but who's the problem this week?
Listen, when you get married, you get to go on a honeymoon. I chose to stay at a nice place.
You got
Not gonna get roasted
live it up, dog. You got to live. No.
All these people, by the way, on Instagram and who are giving me health because I'm enjoying myself at a nice place.
No, don't.
Which, quite frankly,
I backed you up. By the way,
Michael,
I backed you up.
I saw that. I saw that. Good for you. Yes. By the way, that post has gone rogue. I don't know if that thing's gone crazy, nuclear. But the point of the problem is that I'm here. I'm paying my money. I'm enjoying myself. Shouldn't be getting roasted. Now, I do have a couple problems. The first problem I have, it's not a person. It's a thing. It's one-ply toilet paper should be banned from all markets. From
I saw the
all
tweet.
stores. I tried to wipe my ass earlier today. The shit just disintegrated in my hands.
Dude,
it's the worst.
One-ply toilet paper is like what they put on whaling vessels.
So
dude, there's no way the Four Seasons is giving you one-ply toilet paper.
No, it's a one-ply. Everything else has been tremendous.
No,
really?
I'm telling you, maybe I got a bad batch.
I can't believe that.
I am so used to using that Charmin double, triple ply. Yeah. It feels like it just nestles.
I would have thought that, like at the Four Seasons Maui, that they would just have somebody come and wipe your ass for you. To be honest, with a nice coconut leaf or something. I
somewhat expected a bidet, if I'm being honest, but that's not.
Bidet would have been nice. Bidet would have been nice.
I think that's the upgrade to the junior.
Listen, you can't have at the Four Seasons the kind of toilet paper they have at like porta potties outside of stadiums. That simply can't be.
It's better than that, but it's not that flush, beautiful 2-ply. Anyways, that's my first problem is 1-ply toilet paper. Okay. My second problem is actually a player, and it's a good problem. I think the guy's shown out the first 2 games that he's played, and last week against my Packers, he went 8 for 9, had a touchdown. Is Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is looking very, very good. Wow. And a guy who kind of slept on, now I know that he got picked pretty high by the Broncos, but I'm telling you what, I think he's going to be the starter. I think he's going to do pretty good things in Denver, man. He looks good.
I agree.
Tick, I got to say this, and I'll say it now to you. If Joey D is talking Bo Nix football in preseason, you could bet your ass there's going to be a lot of action on those Denver Broncos this year. If he's pointing out Bo Nix, look at him. His brain's already like, I could probably get Denver at a discount every single week
100%.
Until people catch on. So I am on the Bo Nix. Joe, I don't hate that. Good for you.
They're gonna be on the Stidham train, and it's not so clearly going to be Bo Nix's job. He looks like the best guy there, and you know what? I think you get Tick, you're laughing now. I think you're going to get a first few games where they're going to be dogs, and they might win those games. That
I
might be
agree.
some Denver covers thanks to our guy, Bo Nix.
Our guy. Now he's our guy, Bo Nix.
I'm laughing, but I actually agree with him that I do think that they're going to be dogs for the first few weeks, and I do think that Bo Nix is going to show up. I think Denver is going to surprise a lot of people. So, I will do my Who's a Problem next, and then we'll finish with Mikey. I'm not a part of the Brilliant Dumb Show, so I can talk about airlines, right? You guys have
You
talked
sure
about
can, yeah.
plenty of times, but on this show, we haven't talked about it a bunch. To think that you can switch an airport on somebody, it's one thing to delay and delay and delay, but to think that we're switching an airport from Newark to LaGuardia, and as if that doesn't fucking change people's lives.
What airline were you on, Tick?
I was on Air Canada, Joe.
Oh, it's a terrible, terrible airline. I'll tell you that right now. It's a terrible airline.
They told me, they were like, we're still getting you to New York, but we have to change airlines because the gates, they're all full. They gave me some bullshit. And they're like, we're going to LaGuardia. And I had booked a hotel at the Newark airport. So they switched us to LaGuardia, and I get off in LaGuardia, and I have to take a 45-minute Uber ride to my airport hotel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I booked it because I thought I was staying there.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you something right now, Tick, that'll save you a lot of hassles. I'll never book a airport hotel unless I have to leave at like 3 a.m. or something like that. They're just they're not nice. B, they're it's after a long day of traveling, it's nice to leave the premise of an airport to go somewhere else. When you check into a hotel that's in an airport after you've traveled all day, it's not exactly relaxing. So,
no, it's not. That
something to keep in mind for your future travels.
That being said, who's a problem for you this week, Mikey V?
I got a problem with the NFL this week with this new NFL Sunday ticket service available on the Apple App Store for $679.99 for the season. And you could add the NFL Red Zone for $740 for the season.
How much was it before? 500?
This has nothing to do with YouTube. This is like just the Sunday ticket app. And you could download it, but they upcharge you $200 more than what they charge just to get YouTube TV. I don't know. I'm trying to find out more information on it.
No, it's like trying to book a Cameo, but if you book it on the app as opposed to Apple, you spend more.
Yeah, So I don't know. So whatever. I have no idea. But man, oh man, this league just can't get enough money. They just can't get enough money. I don't know. I would caution everybody not to do that. If you saw some kind of advertisement for that, get the YouTube TV. I think there's this common misconception that if you get NFL package on YouTube TV, you have to subscribe to YouTube TV. That's not the case.
No,
that's not the case. You could just get the
And by
NFL
the way,
package.
you should subscribe to YouTube TV because it's actually
some of us that have cut
product.
the cord. Those of us who have cut the cord.
I've cut the cord and I haven't looked back.
I say never cut the cord. But that being aside, that's another topic of conversation for another day. I would just say, just be very cautious before you do this because you're going to pay like an extra $200 for the season. You don't have to do that. You just go to the YouTube TV app. So I just don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe somebody could clarify in the comments. I put it out on Twitter. I'm like, what is the difference between getting the Sunday Ticket app? Why would anyone do that when you could just do the YouTube? And I think people are very confused about it. So I'd like some answers. And the NFL,
you might save some people some money too, Michael.
I would love to do that. I'd love to do that. And if I could save
how about any money you save goes back into Breezy Golf?
Right.
Promo code Bear Down Cuz.
Promo code Bear Down 15. Bear Down 15.
If you really want to save people money, you go to the Only Subs. You pay less than a cup of coffee.
Listen to your friend here.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And you get picks.
Or you book the Holiday Inn Express over the 4 seasons. That'll save some money.
What was your winning percentage last year, Mikey?
We went 114 and 74.
Wow, very nice.
Okay, so get yourself
118 and 74 last year.
That's like 80 games, 40 games over 500.
46 over 500 last year. 46 games.
Wow.
46 bets over 500.
So if you take every single one of Mikey's bets, you will make money. If you bet the exact same amount of money on every single bet, you will make money and then some. go over there to the Only Subs, and it used to be less than a cup of coffee. Now it's a Starbucks coffee.
It's Starbucks coffee, but I mean,
Good for
still.
him. And you will be 46 games over on the winning percentage and make yourself some money.
Big
So,
promo coming out tomorrow, by the way. Sneak peek. Big promo video for Only Subs tomorrow drops.
okay, not
Wow.
tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Mikey. Yesterday.
Well, actually, today. You're listening today. It'll be up today.
There you go. There you go.
Chick needs some rest, bro. This poor
I
guy.
mean, I was telling him. All right, I do need some rest. But that being said, let's move on to viewer questions. I do need some rest, dude.
This poor
Vancouver,
guy's still in LaGuardia.
Vancouver took it out of me in that travel day. But let's move on to viewer questions. This one comes from Matt. Matt wants to know, no last name, no username, which one of the sportsmen is a good one, had the best dancing performance of the night at Cutsy's wedding?
That was Michael with the wig on, without question. It was tremendous.
Yeah.
He posted. If you haven't seen it, go check his Instagram out. The clip is hilarious. I can't believe they let that wig through customs, but it was hysterical. It was a really, really good play. It was well done, and yeah, I'll give it to Mikey without question.
I
Now,
appreciate
Tick,
that.
your dance before your speech, Tick, was pretty good to Justin
Yeah,
Timberlake.
that was pretty good. Right before the dance, right before the speech, you did a little something. Yeah, yeah. That was pretty good, Tick. Yeah.
Sure. I got some moves. That being said, he's not a sportsman, but he is a sportsman adjacent. He was almost going to join us tonight, but he's the most pissed off man in America. The Jet got fucked up.
Oh,
And
man.
he does his best dancing when he gets fucked up. He got out there. He moved, Joey D. He fucking moved out there.
I saw.
He hit you with one of these, and he was kicking his
He
leg.
did the dice. He did the dice.
He
move.
was in close contention to the sweatiest man on the dance floor after Bob.
Oh.
It was Bob by a landslide, and then everybody else, after that. But he was up there. He was drenched.
Oh,
Sweatiest guy in Canada, dog.
Oh, if there is an award for sweatiest guy in Canada, there was nobody even.
Bob looked like he just swam the Lake Ontario before coming into the fucking wedding venue. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, he looked like he went through the 5 lakes. Yeah,
he did. Yeah, the Great Lakes.
The Great Lakes.
Dude, he was in just his white tee by the end. He was just, and
he was giving everything he had though, so I gotta appreciate it. I gotta respect it.
Sure, but he sweats regardless. All right, thank you, Matt, for that question. Next question comes from Dylan. Fuck, marry, kill. People are loving these fuck, marry, kills. Winning a gold medal at the Olympics, winning a Super Bowl, and winning the Masters. Fuck, marry, kill.
Man, I mean,
gold medal, Super Bowl, Masters.
Correct.
Dude, I'm gonna be labeled like an anti-patriot, but I mean, I'm marrying the Super Bowl and I'm gonna fuck the Masters, dude. Like, you get invited to that dinner every year. I mean, like, you get the green jacket. I mean, like, I mean, I don't know how you can't say Masters. And to be honest, I've never seen a Super Bowl from my team, so I can't not say Super Bowl. I mean, it would be great to. I'll let somebody else win the gold medal for my country. I don't need it. Let somebody else win it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on board. I really could give less of a shit of the Olympics. This year was just no. I mean, listen, I respect and I honor the athletes and I care about them, but like at the same time, I want my Packers to win Super Bowl. And if you give me a chance to win a green jacket, I mean, I'm wearing that thing everywhere, including the pool. I'll wear it outside the cabana.
I get maybe it's because the Eagles won recently, but I'm going to kill the Super Bowl. I'm going to kill that. Winning it. I mean, can you imagine coming back home from Paris with Mikey?
Yeah, I could. Guess what? Nobody's going to give a shit.
Your wife and your kids seeing a gold medal around your neck.
Yeah, little dog would be pretty impressed.
I mean,
I think he'd be more impressed when I hoist that Lombardi and say, "We're going to Disney World."
That's true.
So I'll fuck the gold medal. I will I'll marry the Masters, and I'm gonna kill the Super Bowl. And maybe that's because
Wow.
the Eagles won recently. You know what?
Wow. Listen, I think the gold medal means so much to people directly involved with like the Olympics and like maybe to the world, but like America's a bunch of fucking scumbags who just love football, like
Yeah.
more than anything in the world. So I
Yeah,
think the Super
that's
Bowl just
true.
carries more weight. And when I say scumbags, I mean that in the best possible way. You're looking at one. So I mean that
I
in the
mean,
best
Mike,
best
if you
possible
if
way.
you came back for pole vaulting and you got a
Yeah.
gold medal
Pole vaulting.
and you brought the gold back for pole
No
vault,
one's gonna know you, dog.
No, no, nobody. I couldn't name a single pole vaulter. Not one.
oh, who could? Yeah. All right, next question comes from D. This is just for Mikey, and I'm very curious myself. We'll do two more. We'll do this one and then one more. Fuck Mary Kill for Mikey. Yankees, Bears, Buckeyes. I'm curious myself, to be honest.
Yeah, marrying I mean, listen, I'm marrying the Bears because being a Bears fan, it's just much more like a marriage. There's a lot of ups, there's a lot of downs. There's you got to go. You're with them forever, no matter what, through thick and thin. But there's trials and tribulations. Any good marriage, there's trials and tribulations. Don't let anybody tell you different. Fucking the Buckeyes, man, because the Buckeyes just fuck. It's what we do. Ohio State fucks. It's what they do. It's my best team. It's been my best team for a long time. The Yankees, I hate to kill the Yankees, but I love football first and foremost, and that's just what I am. Is it
Yeah.
hard to kill the Yankees? Yes. Have I seen enough World Series where again, like
Yes.
I want to win another one, but like it's not life or death kind of it feels like? Yes. So I would kill the Yankees. Yes.
All right. Wow. All right. The Audi Club axed. All right. I was gonna do one more, but let's do two more because I actually like this one from Colin as well. But we'll go to Nathan Edwards first. Favorite use of potato? Hash browns, fries, whatever you want, scalloped potatoes, whatever. What is the best use of a potato? What's your favorite thing? Joe, we'll start with you.
Potato chips.
That's a good one. That's a
I
very
I I I could live without. Listen, French fries are great.
They are great.
Hash browns are great. You tell me though, when you're watching a football game on a Sunday and you have a good bag of potato chips, or if you're on the road driving somewhere, there's not more of a versatile snack than the potato chip. I'm gonna take that all day, 10 ways till Sunday.
okay. Mikey?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the fry. I just can't
It's a
see a
good,
world without. I can't see a world without French fries. I'll be honest. But
it's a
I
good
mean,
one, Michael.
chips is good too. But I just can't see a world without fries. That would be tough world to live in.
I tell you what, at Joe's, both at his wedding and his rehearsal dinner were two of the best mashed potatoes I have
Mm.
ever had in my entire life. I don't think, and then even when you think about just ordering from KFC, get the mashed potatoes on the
Mashed
side.
potatoes are great.
I think I'm going with mashed potatoes, man. It is the great, and then you throw a little milk in there, and you just make. Oh, it's when you get a good mashed potatoes, I think it's
You
bad
mean
better.
gravy, right? Gravy, not milk.
No, you throw a little milk or cream in there and it creams it up.
Well,
Creams it up.
oh, okay. I never
Yes.
put milk in.
In
I
the in
put
the in the
Oh, but
cooking
yeah, gravy
process.
on
oh
top
the cooking.
as
Okay, I
well.
got it. I got it. I got
Yes.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then yeah, oh my God, you throw the KFC gravy on top. I think KFC gravy is better than any gravy that any mom and dad could ever make.
Whoa!
I think the KFC
Shit!
gravy is I told you guys I took it to I was dating someone and I KFC
This-
gravy to the house and they had no
He
idea.
took he took he took a thing of KFC gravy, Mikey, to a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, it
And
was
he had the little
my
batch and was pouring it on his turkey
and
and
Mikey,
mashed potatoes.
nobody knew, Mikey. They thought that
no,
I did. Anyway, the point is, I'm going with mashed potatoes just because if you do everything the best, fries, potato chips, mashed potatoes, my favorite thing is if all things are the best, fries are a close second, mashed potatoes, you can't beat it. It's unbelievable.
All right.
So that's my pick. And then we'll do one more, and it's only because it's a good one, and it's poignant. Colin asks, Weddings, do's and don'ts. So, Joe, we just came from your wedding. What are the do's and don'ts? What did you see, or what do you feel about the do's and don'ts of your wedding?
Um, Depends. If you're just a guest, are you in the wedding party? Are you guest? Are you like hosting the wedding?
Just anybody, I think. Just a guest or anybody. Yeah.
Um, I think dues. I think a good do is if you get involved in the mix on the dance floor. I think that shows like it shows face. It shows that you're involved. People always going to remember who was on the dance floor. I don't think you need to be there a long time, but I think if you go in there, you do a round, a quick little shuffle here or there. People remember that. That goes a long way. A wedding don't. Um, Getting hammered to the point where you can't talk to someone or can't handle yourself like that's a tough look. I think drinking to the point where you're just at the right premium is good, but sometimes some people, not I'm not talking about anybody in my wedding, I'm saying just in general, sometimes people go out there, they get so hammered that they can't even handle themselves. That's a tough look.
Yeah, I think everyone at your wedding, actually, I couldn't pinpoint a single person or anything that I was like, that person was too drunk.
No, bar tab was under what I anticipated. I was very happy.
Yeah.
And everybody had a fun time, which I wanted. My sister was handing out trays of shots. So, everybody was having fun and drinking, but it was not like excessively. I think everybody was at a good point for my wedding. It was good to see.
Yeah, I'd
Your
agree.
sister, by the way, I mean, Kiki obviously is great. Everyone knows that. But you give your older sister, Maria, a lot of shit. She was great. I thought she was
She had a
phenomenal.
good showing. She had a good showing. She really did. She had a
she
real good showing.
she was great. I really enjoyed her company. Mikey, weddings, do's and don'ts.
Wedding due if you're the couple getting married is make sure that your bridal assistant, or if you don't have a bridal assistant, make sure that you're getting like all of the stuff at cocktail hour, because like there's a very good chance that you
Yep.
spent a lot of money on this stuff, and you want to get the best, the best experience, and that means getting like some all the food that's available. And when you're the couple, you just have so many other obligations between photos and all this stuff you got to do. Like, don't miss out on the main fare, which is the cocktail hour
We
usually.
had ours put his plate aside for us.
Yes, that's right. That's the way to do it. You have to do that. So that's definitely a major, major do. And then a wedding don't. Joe's is actually a pretty good one. I would say another wedding don't is
Leaving really early is another one I would say too. Some people
as a
leave.
don't.
Yeah, like they leave to the point where you don't even know if they're still there or not. They're just
Right,
gone.
right. Yeah. No, that's a good one. Yeah, no, that's a good one. I mean, there's really, I mean, if you're I would say if you're a guest, I'll flip it. And if you're a guest, a wedding don't to me would be like to be like too like overly concerned with the gift that you're going to give. Like, I think people get really paranoid about what they're going to give, and they try and calculate, if this person came to our wedding and we get, I mean, just if you're getting invited to a wedding, the person that invited you should know what your, not exactly, but what your means are to a degree. And I just think
Yeah.
like people get so overworked about that and what to put in the envelope, like it could almost ruin the experience for some people. So I would say just worry a little bit less about that. And hopefully, if you've been invited to the wedding, it's because you're very close with the person that invited you, and you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. And I mean, trust me, I believe they'll know whether or not that shorted them a little bit or
Yeah.
not. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that I think
If they're
people
a
make
good
that such a
person, they
bigger deal.
shouldn't they shouldn't take value in how much someone gives you at a
That's right.
wedding,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
I almost would rather have someone be an integral part and play a good role and give me a little less in terms of money or a gift than if you don't contribute at all and then you give a better gift. But
Right.
yeah, it's I hate it's like kind of like a faux pas, the whole gift giving, like what the expectation is, how much should I get, how much should you give? I totally agree with you, Michael. I think that it's just give what you have the means to give,
Right. Right. Right.
and then from there, if they don't like it, then screw them.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Back in the day, I remember I used to go to weddings where there was like a whole table where you would like put your gift down. Like whether it was
Well, we had a registration just with a box
Okay.
for everybody to put their cards
Yeah,
in.
that's
Italian weddings,
Right.
most people, especially too with Nicole and I not living in Canada and having to go back, like 99% of people just gave us cash or checks or whatever,
Yeah,
which
I
is
mean, bridal
very
showers are for
nice.
registries, baby
Yeah.
showers are for registries, wedding, just give an envelope. Don't get
Also,
complicated.
by
Yeah.
the way, I've never been married. These two have, but I can't imagine a better gift than just cash. Just give
No,
cash.
that's right. You just give an envelope. Don't. I don't want to set
You
a
know what
steak.
someone
I'll
told
buy
me
my own
recently?
steak
Cash,
knives. I'll buy
cash
my
is
own.
the best gift you could possibly
That's right.
give.
That's right.
Well, you know what is a good thing too? Someone told me this the other day is if you give a check, because they say if like
Right.
the check is made payable, like if I give a check payable to Mikey, right? And say God forbid you're at a wedding and the card goes missing, or God forbid somebody tries to steal something, they can't cash that check because it's made payable to Mikey. So I don't lose out on that. And then I could give him a new check, you know what I mean? Whereas the cash it's that's gone with the wind. That's done and dusted. So I
Right.
do agree that the cash is a gift, but giving a check is kind of
Did
a
you
heady
did you
play.
secure all those envelopes, Joe?
There was a lot. I had them put them aside, and
Because I gave
there's a
cash.
couple.
Because
Yeah,
I
no, it
gave
was
cash.
great. I got
I
it. And
didn't write a check. I didn't write a check.
by the way,
I
your
don't write
card
checks.
was
I don't like
the
giving
card
checks.
that you gave, Michael,
Yes.
was one
Wait,
of the
hang on,
nicer
Mikey.
cards that I had.
Thank you,
Why don't
buddy.
In
you? Why
terms of
don't
the card itself was exquisite. The gift was very nice too. Thank you. But the
Yes.
card itself
Yes.
was very nice.
Thank you, buddy.
why don't
Appreciate it.
you write checks, Mikey?
You know why? Because some people just take too fucking long to cash them, Tick. And I don't have time for that. And I'm not saying Joe, and I'm not saying that Joe would have, but in my
I probably would have.
experience, I just don't want to. I don't want to wait for it to come out of my account. Here's the cash.
You're
Boom. See you
exactly
later.
right. That's exactly correct. Yeah.
You know, you got guys. After the wedding, and again, this isn't directed at Joe. It just so happens that Joe left. But you got people. They go away to fucking Cambodia after their wedding, and they're gone for 2 weeks. You don't know when that check's getting cashed. Could be a month.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be at least a couple weeks for me.
Right.
There you go. There you go.
All right. All right. That's been another episode of The Sportsman. Make sure if you write a check, they cash it quickly, or just don't write that fucking check. But that has been another episode of The Sportsman. We finally got all the guys together. We got Mikey, we got Joey D, recently married. Give him a round of applause for that. And myself, Neil, Big Ticket, and we will see you folks next week. Till then.